Hey guys, it's July 11th, and I am 150% better than I was. Still not 100% me, if that makes sense to you. So, my symptoms started with COVID on May 18th. I had a headache that I just could not get rid of, and I just wasn't feeling well. And I was telling everybody around me I don't feel well. Even my coworkers, I told my CNAs, don't come too close to me because I'm not feeling well, and I just felt like something was going on. So that was the 18th, the 19th. Things just got progressively worse. The headache, and I had a cough, but this was a different kind of cough on the 18th, and with that cough came the shortness of breath. I mean, I was giving out of breath to the point to it had started to just be agonizing, and I had almost come to a moan at work. So when I got off work and got home, my daughter, who's a CNA and already certified in CPR, we went over a plan because I felt that bad. And what we did was we went over the steps to CPR just in case she woke up through the night and I wasn't breathing. That's just how bad my shortness of breath was, and that's just how bad I felt. So yeah, we had a plan that night, and from there, COVID just came in, and it took me down through there. Get well soon. I love you. This was written May 22nd, approximately 5 days after my first symptoms from COVID. This letter was written to me and left at my pillow while I slept by my 9-year-old. I believe it was at this time that all of my children realized that there was something seriously wrong with Mom. Okay, the footage you're about to watch of me is not the worst of the worst with this virus. I'll say it again, it is not the worst of the worst. The footage you're about to see is actually me 2 weeks after having COVID. And the first 2 weeks of COVID were so severe. I felt like I was teeter-tottering on the verge of life and death. And of course, all efforts went towards to keeping me in this world. And so I didn't come up with the thought to video what I was going through until I was looking at some things, and I saw where a lot of people were saying, well, this virus isn't real and it was just a hoax. And I'm over here hanging on by the balance to dear life. But you have people out there encouraging other people to not, wash hands, to not wear masks, to not social distance themselves. So I was like, wow, let me videotape what I'm going through so I can try to at least counteract some of this foolishness these people were saying. I don't know all the facts about COVID, but I know what I went through. And I know that there are two facts that you cannot change. One of them is the fact that COVID is real. COVID is real, is real. And another fact is it is a killer. It is a taker of man. So, like I said, from those videos I was watching with these people with all this foolishness, discouraging people to take precautions, I decided to show the world, because it's so easy to say, oh, she has COVID, or she was diagnosed with COVID, oh, Tissa's over there with COVID. It's so easy to say those things, but it's different when you get an eye for yourself, when you're able to see for yourself. And I'm gonna keep reiterating that this video was taken 2 weeks after my first symptoms. And those first 2 weeks of my symptoms, oh my goodness. And I tell everybody that I talk to, I have not died, obviously, but for those people who have died from COVID, I have walked in some of their steps, and it is agonizing. It is agonizing. And I remember some of those severe times where I could not catch my breath. I couldn't catch my breath, and I didn't know if that breath would actually be my last breath, or if the next breath would be sufficient enough to keep me in this world. And that in itself was so scary. So my heart aches, and it aches every day. When I think, every cough that I take, I think about those people who lost their lives. And I just feel like I know part of what they went through before their bodies gave up on them. So let me say, I'm not a doctor. I am not a doctor. I don't prescribe anything, and I'm not telling anybody to do anything specific for themselves. This video is coming specifically from me and what I did for myself. I still have a lingering cough and mucus, and you're gonna see all of this in this video. But these are some of the things I did for myself to alleviate some of these symptoms of COVID. The one thing that just scared the bejesus out of me, and that was when I couldn't breathe, the shortness of breath. As you can see here, the mucus was clear to cloudy. It was thick and it was frothy. It was very sticky, and it was the consistency of, I could say, gum when you stretch it open. And when I think about the fact that I'm still coughing this kind of mucus up till this day, I cringe to know that this kind of thing is still in my system. And this is 55 days, guys, after my very first symptoms. 55 days, and I still have the COVID mucus in my system. There were days I don't remember, because sometimes I would have shortness of breath so bad that it would take everything out of me, and I literally would sleep from one day to the next. From walk to the bathroom. And of course, I have to sit the fan. Oh, my stomach hurts so bad. Oh, God. Oh, shit. Turn the fan on. Hi. Yeah. Was saying doctors didn't recommend the nebulizer treatments, but I can't help but feel like that helped save my life, because there were times when I couldn't get myself together until I did nebulize. The albuterol inhaler didn't work for me at all. Stomach pain. Is that real? That's what these pains are unbearable. Oh, God, it hurts so bad. It's 5 o'clock in the morning, and I've been up all night from an episode of vomiting that I had. That just left me weak and heart fluttering and muscles locking up. It's just been awful. It's, it's just been awful. Like stomach muscles locking up and heart fluttering. And it's just weird. But excuse me. Hopefully I can just I've been trying to calm myself down and praying and thinking good thoughts. Just praying. It's June 21st, about 2 something in the morning, and I'm not feeling well. Just not feeling good at all. So I'm gonna take my temp right quick, and I'm gonna try to do it myself. I don't want to wake Island up. And here we go. Oh, good Lord. So, see if I can show you. I'm so weak. It's, what was it? 100.8. Give me some Tylenol. Let me right quick. Just so. I just wanted y'all to see my daughter, who has been by my side, taking care of me from day one. She left her bed to come in here and sleep on my chest. I just want y'all to see. So almost 7 months pregnant, and she's left her bed to sleep on my chest just so she can watch over me. I thank God for her. I couldn't ask for a better daughter. But I am a fighter, and I had come too far from those first 2 weeks of going through COVID, where I felt like I was teeter-tottering between this world and the next, with being so short of breath and not being able to breathe that you literally didn't know if that next breath would come. Approximately 2 weeks after my visit to the ER on the 23rd, I started feeling a lot better and started feeling more like myself again. The coughs are not as bad. However, they are still there. I still can't take deep breaths. If I do, I go into this episode of coughing. I still can't walk long distances. I have to walk short distances and sit down, or I would be completely out of breath, or my muscles would just totally give up on me. I still do have the dizziness, but I don't need anyone to walk beside me now when I go places. So like I said, everything has improved a great deal, and I'm feeling more like myself. So, like I was saying, I am not a doctor and I don't prescribe anything. I can only tell you that this is what I went through, and I'm just going to tell you some of the things that I did to help get me through this ordeal with certain symptoms. And this is going to sound really ghetto to you guys, but I did what I had to do, and that was for the shortness of breath. When I had the shortness of breath, I was fortunate enough to have a nebulizer treatment, a nebulizer for nebulizer treatments. A lot of doctors were saying that they didn't recommend it, but like I said, that was the only way I could find relief when I would have some of those severe spells. And a lot of times with the shortness of breath, along with controlled breathing, I set my fan in front. This is the ghetto part. I set my fan in front of the AC, and I set it on high, and I had to get in front of that fan to get the air blowing directly into my face. And I figured this out after, being discharged from the hospital with shortness of breath, and then, you get on the O2 and they send you home. But once you walk back in the house, before you can even make it in the house, you're back having that shortness of breath. So we had to find something, and that was one of the things we figured out. For the cough, I was prescribed by the doctor prednisone, so I was taking prednisone. Of course, some non-medicinal things you can do, or I did, was the lemon and honey tea. I did the tussin. cough drops, the blue ones, they work wonders for me. And I also took that, for, the congestion that I had. Oh, and one thing that was massive was Theraflu. I just don't know where I'd be some of those days if it was not for that Theraflu, guys. So, like I said, that's something that helped me. Of course, I had the symptoms, loss of appetite and taste, and I just had to wait for that to come back. But with the vomiting and the diarrhea that I had, of course, and I still got some going on. It caused me to be dehydrated, and a lot of my muscles would lock up, and oh my goodness, that is some awful pain. But with those things, trying to stay hydrated, we did the power aids. Alone, nothing is better than your H2O, but we did power aids as well. And as far as like a remedy for the nausea, Zofran help if you have a doctor that will prescribe you something for nausea. But the diarrhea, nothing helped. I mean, Imodium didn't help me. The Pepto didn't help me. Nothing helped me. I just had to sit and let it run its course. Of course, for my fevers and stuff and aches, I did Tylenol. I had some really bad heart flutters, and I don't know what it was, but something in me kept saying, you better chew on some of these baby aspirins. They were saying don't do NSAIDs, but when your heart is feeling like it's about to jump out your chest, and there's nothing, I did NSAIDs. I chewed on 2 baby aspirins every so often, and believe it or not, it helped. So, like I said, I'm not prescribing anything. I'm just telling you some of the things that helped me get through a lot of these symptoms. And of course, nothing, and I mean nothing, would be possible without the grace of God. Every night I prayed and asked Him to please open my eyes the next day, and that's what He did. And thank you to anybody who would say, well, TC, God doesn't put more on you than you can handle. Thank you for trying to console and comfort me. But I do want everyone to know that I serve a God who doesn't inflict anything harmful on His children. I am His child. He did not inflict COVID on me. However, He did pick me up, and He brought me through. So to God be the glory. And if this video helps someone, I would love to know. If you have any questions, you can always inbox me. And for anybody who's suffering with COVID now, many prayers, many thoughts to you, and blessings to you.